This is my WalkAway campaign, and thank you, Brandon Straker. So here we are, a legal immigrant Brit, 4th of July, home mountain country, Arizona, just after dawn, probably the perfect time to be up here and talk about this. And, kind of where do you start with walking away from the DNC and the Democratic Party and trying to understand my red pill moments and I came out as a gay man in London, and the socialists, the left, were the ones that were campaigning for civil rights. The conservatives certainly were not. The conservatives were in the closet. But in 10 years after, in 79, 10 years after the Stonewall riots, I walked in a gay pride, and it was 99.9% just ordinary people. Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor. We are you. We look just like you. You do know someone who is gay. And there was a sprinkling of drag queens. And you flip that to 2017, 2018, it's 99.9% weirdos. It really is. And if you spot anyone there that's just an average person who was gay, good luck with that. So, my coming out was through the socialists, and it was always very awkward. I was always being corrected when I said lady instead of woman. I had no problem with capitalism and wanting, a nice warm flat to live in, for goodness sake, and friends who would rather live in squats for some sort of strange cause that they believed in. I became a citizen in 2000, and the Clinton campaign was rushing through the last documentation, assuming that all the immigrants were going to vote for Gore. I didn't vote for Gore. I thought Gore was a bore. I was done with the Clinton-Bush political dynasties, and I voted for Ralph Nader. Yes, I was one of those, and there was nothing that Ralph Nader said I didn't believe in, quite frankly. I registered as an independent. I probably registered as a Democrat, if I can think back, because I got involved with the Howard Dean campaign, and I liked Howard Dean. And partly he was quite conservative. He had a very open idea about the Second Amendment. You can't have the same gun right laws for South Central LA as you do for the Vermont farmer. He brought, universal health care to Vermont, and it seemed to be working. I believed in the man. And I campaigned in New Hampshire. We had a huge campaign drive there. Kerry Edwards did not. I flew up to Iowa, froze my butt off. Huge Dean campaign. Kerry Edwards did not. And then I sat in the caucuses and I watched the DNC hand the nomination to Kerry Edwards with the help and collusion of the unions. And you flash forward to 2016, and the DNC, and we know this for truth, thank you, Donna Brazile, handed it to Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders. And I was a Bernie supporter. And not after he, kissed the ring of Hillary Clinton. It was over for me. But I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Hillary. I voted Libertarian. And the night of the election, I sat there and I watched Florida go for Trump. And I knew, I'm enough experience in politics to know it was done. So I emailed a lefty friend of mine, a lovely, lovely woman, and I just said, Lauren, it's going to be President Trump. It's going to be fine. It's going to be interesting. When you wake up tomorrow, your country will still be there. Boy, was I wrong. And then I watched all these Trump supporters, Trump voters come out of the closet. And a lot of them were friends of mine. They were sane, they were rational, they were intelligent. And I went on a journey to find out why. Why did they vote for Trump? I thought Trump was belligerent. I thought he was ignorant. I thought he pressed all the the wrong buttons in a traditional campaign. But and then the journey was literally deliberately stepping onto the other side and listening to people that I wouldn't. I listened to Milo Yiannopoulos. I mean, you say that to any liberal gay man, and they just about grab for the smelling salts. And I like Milo, and he's a devout Christian. I'm not. Things that I don't agree with what he says. I started listening to Ben Shapiro. He has a religious Jew. I have Jewish heritage, but I'm not a Jew. According to their, very exclusive club rules. I certainly don't believe in his God or any God. I started listening to Breitbart. Good heavens, Breitbart, the rebel media. I stopped listening to CNN. I stopped listening to Rachel Maddow and MSNBC. I stopped listening to, National Progressive Radio, NPR, completely biased, and started educating myself and started seeing a different point of view, and slowly changed my mind. And then the thing that really really pushed me over was watching a debate with Milo Yiannopoulos and a conservative student who was telling us about how faculty admin were biased, how they were putting impediments in the way of inviting other speakers. And I mean, I've had 12 years teaching university and college, and I was just aghast. I really was. And then Antifa. I mean, I watched when Barack Obama was voted in the first time. He hadn't even been inaugurated, and he has the Tea Party, campaigning outside Congress for his, removal from office. He wasn't even in office, and all the liberals were incensed. And you flip back to 2017, they're not only doing the same to Donald Trump, but they're doing it with violence. Breaking, rioting, burning that immigrant's limousine, beating it up. Liberal was never fascist, and the Democratic Party have become fascist. And the violence, how do you not see this? I mean, if you really believe in your conviction, why are you turning up, Antifa, disguised with marks, with weapons? How do you justify the college professor with a bike lock, full arm swing on the head of a Trump supporter? Madness, absolute thuggery. And I come to realize that this is not about diversity. When you're discriminating against white people, it's racism. And you see article after article discriminating in this, the patriarchy and straight white men. Well, guess what, guys? That burning building, that cop situation, this gay man's not out there. Mr. Man is out there rescuing. Thank you, Mr. Man. Appreciate everything that you do for us. And you see the Democratic Party, the liberals celebrating, all black dormitories and all black meetings, and the BBC advertising for, whites don't apply. Are you mad? What happened? It's an upside down world. Yes, thank you, Melanie Phillips. You're absolutely right. And then through watching social media, YouTube, and Facebook, joining groups, and seeing the Islamic invasion of Europe. It's an Islamic invasion, and you realize it's happening here. And the only thing I would say about Brander's video that disappointed me, that he didn't call out the Islamic invasion. And guys, sorry, this isn't about, oh, you got to speak nice to and respect people's religions. These are billions of people who think we are, they have the right to hate. They hate Jews to start off with. They hate apostates. They hate infidels. Then they hate women. They hate gays. They're throwing us off the building. So, here is a gay lefty who has to, have awkward bedfellows of having to deal with the Christian right, who basically are turn the other cheek people, and or on the other side where they throw me off the building. It's not a hard choice, guys. It really isn't. And and I watched the corruption of the British police. I watched the jailing, unfairly jailing of Tommy Robinson. I mean, England, wake up. What happened? Churchill must be turning in his grave. So I very proudly went from independent to registered Republican. Yes, sticks in my craw. Couldn't believe the day I would say I'd do that. If there was a Libertarian Party, I would do it. But I really want to support my AZ Senator Kate Brophy-McGee in the primaries. So that gives me the opportunity, and in the election. And I will go from there and see what happens. But the DNC in this selection of this new far left candidate, they're celebrating. The DNC chairman says, this is the new face. If that's the new face, guys, I'm pleased, because it's the death knell. It's the death knell. It is beyond the pale. You have lost your grip. I am not supporting violence. As an ex-liberal, I'm not supporting violence. I'm not supporting prejudice. And that's what you've become. And Brandon, thank you for doing this, and all you other people who've supported it. You guys are amazing. Thank you.